For centuries, the human brain has been treated as a mystery wrapped in flesh and electricity, a silent universe operating behind our eyes. Now imagine a moment when science, accident, or evolution reveals something astonishing, a hidden power buried deep within the human mind, waiting patiently to be awakened. Not a metaphor, not imagination, but a measurable force capable of reshaping reality itself. The discovery would not feel like progress, it would feel like awakening from a long collective sleep. At first, the signs would be subtle. Ordinary people would begin experiencing moments of impossible clarity, instant learning, heightened perception, thoughts moving faster than language. Memories would sharpen, intuition would feel almost supernatural, and problem-solving would leap beyond known limits. Scientists would struggle to explain why dormant neural networks suddenly activate, unlocking capacities never recorded in human history. Humanity would realize it has been living far below its true potential. As this hidden power spreads, creativity would explode across every domain. Music would carry emotions never before felt. Art would move beyond sight and sound, directly resonating with the mind. Writers would not merely tell stories, they would imprint experiences. Innovation would accelerate at a terrifying pace, as ideas once thought impossible become obvious to newly awakened minds. The line between imagination and execution would begin to vanish. But power never arrives without consequences. Not all minds would awaken equally. Some individuals would access deeper layers of this mental force, creating a new form of inequality, one not defined by wealth or status, but by cognitive reach. Society would be forced to confront a disturbing question: are all humans still equal if some can think, learn, and influence reality far beyond others? Governments and institutions would rush to control what they barely understand. Training programs, enhancement protocols, and mental regulations would emerge overnight. The brain would become the most valuable resource on Earth. Borders would matter less than brainpower. Wars would no longer be fought over land or oil, but over minds capable of bending outcomes before conflict even begins. Human communication would evolve dramatically. Words would feel slow and inefficient compared to direct mental resonance. People might sense emotions, intentions, or truths without speech. Lies would become harder to hide. Empathy could deepen beyond language, dissolving misunderstandings, or exposing thoughts never meant to be shared. Privacy, once sacred, would face extinction. The discovery would challenge medicine and biology at their core. The brain's hidden power might trigger self-healing, regeneration, or control over bodily systems previously governed by instinct alone. Humans could learn to regulate pain, fear, and even aging through conscious neural control. Health would become a mental discipline as much as a physical one. Religion and spirituality would be shaken profoundly. Some would claim this power as proof of divine design, others as evidence that gods were never external. Ancient myths about enlightenment, third eyes, and higher consciousness would be re-examined through scientific lenses. Humanity would be forced to reconcile faith with a reality where the miraculous emerges from the mind itself. Fear would grow alongside wonder. What happens when thoughts can influence outcomes too strongly? When anger, obsession, or despair amplify into real-world effects? Mental discipline would become a survival skill. Society would learn the hard way that an untrained mind holding immense power can be as dangerous as any weapon. Children born after the discovery would adapt naturally. Their brains would access this power intuitively, leaving older generations struggling to keep up. Education systems would collapse and rebuild, focused less on memorization and more on mastery of focus, intention, and ethical control. Wisdom would become more valuable than information. Human relationships would transform at their foundation. Love would feel deeper, more intense, almost overwhelming. Conflict would surface instantly, impossible to bury under silence. Authenticity would no longer be optional. Bonds would strengthen or shatter rapidly, as hidden emotions rise to the surface without filters. Yet with all this evolution, a haunting realization would emerge. This power was never truly new. It had always been there, suppressed by fear, distraction, and limitation. Humanity did not gain something extraordinary, it remembered something forgotten. The greatest challenge would not be unlocking the brain's hidden power, but guiding it responsibly. Without ethics, humility, and restraint, humanity could destroy itself with its own potential. The mind, once awakened, cannot be put back to sleep. The future would depend not on how strong this power becomes, but on whether humans are wise enough to deserve it. In the end, discovering a hidden power inside the brain would redefine what it means to be human. No longer passive observers of the universe, humans would become conscious participants in shaping it. The question would no longer be what humanity can do, but whether it is ready to face the consequences of becoming more than it ever imagined. As this hidden power deepens, the boundaries of reality itself could begin to blur. Humans might influence probability, subtly shifting events with focused thought. A single person's conviction could steer outcomes that once seemed entirely random. The world would no longer operate purely under predictable physical laws, intention and awareness would emerge as forces just as potent. The very act of thinking could ripple outward, creating consequences that defy previous understanding. Economies would undergo radical transformation. Work, trade, and value would no longer rely solely on labor or capital. Minds capable of foresight, influence, and rapid problem-solving would become the ultimate currency. Traditional systems would struggle to quantify contributions in a world where innovation and insight could be generated instantaneously. Societies would face an existential choice: adapt to this new mental hierarchy, or risk collapse under their own outdated structures. Political landscapes would fracture under the weight of awakened minds. Leaders might be chosen not by charisma or popularity, but by cognitive mastery and ethical discipline. Decision-making could accelerate, but so could manipulation. Those who master the brain's hidden power could sway crowds, predict opponents, or create outcomes before adversaries even conceive them. Power would no longer be merely external, it would reside inside the consciousness of individuals. The ethical questions would be unprecedented. Could humans be held accountable for actions influenced unconsciously by latent mental abilities? If thought alone could change reality, morality would become a matter of intention rather than action. Legal systems, social norms, and cultural values would need complete reconstruction. Humanity would confront dilemmas with no precedent, where every choice carries amplified and unpredictable consequences. Technology would evolve in tandem with the mind. Interfaces between human cognition and machines would become seamless, not because of coding, but because thought itself could manipulate circuits and networks. Devices would respond to intention, anticipating needs before they are expressed. The distinction between human and machine intelligence would blur, creating a hybrid consciousness capable of feats previously reserved for science fiction. Yet danger would grow alongside opportunity. A mind untrained in restraint could become catastrophic. Uncontrolled thoughts could trigger accidents, conflicts, or natural disasters. Society would have to develop safeguards not around weapons or industry, but around thought itself. Mental training, meditation, and ethical cultivation would rise to paramount importance, forming the new pillars of civilization. Ultimately, the discovery of this hidden power would force humanity to confront the greatest question of all: who are we when limitation is no longer necessary? Are we the beings who conquered fear, ignorance, and mortality, or are we the creatures who destroyed ourselves with the very minds meant to elevate us? The awakening would not be measured by what humans can do,